Good day, fellow Gooners, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone is well today. Coming back with some more Arsenal news today, so let's see what's been going on. Here's some exciting news. Arsenal signed a new defensive mid at a bargain price, but we'll get into all of that shortly. Today I wanted to start off with the striker saga. As we know, the saga's been going on for quite some time. So Football Insider, exclusive, Benjamin Sesko ready to sign for Arsenal after new talks. Benjamin Sesko wants to join Arsenal this summer, and a potential move is not being held up by his representatives, sources have told Football Insider. The 22-year-old has emerged as a key target for Mikel Arteta's side as they search for a new striker before the September deadline day. Interesting. Sources have told Football Insider that recent reports suggest Sesko's wage demands are too high for Arsenal are nonsense. I also thought that. I mean, how much could he really want? 200,000? Around that region? That's well within our budget. The Slovenia international does not have crazy demands, with a player keen to make the Emirates Stadium switch this summer. Sesko won't demand crazy Arsenal salary. Sesko's move is not being held up by any issues on the player's side, as talks continue between the clubs and with the highly rated striker. Victor Gyökeres has also attracted interest at Arsenal, but Football Insider revealed on the 16th of June that Sesko remains the priority striker target for the Gunners. The 22-year-old RB Leipzig star, who is widely reported to have a release clause worth almost £70 million, is the younger option and plays in a stronger league. And here we can see Benjamin Sesko in 2024-25 season, 45 appearances, 21 goals and 6 assists, which is not bad for a 22-year-old up-and-coming star. Sesko hit 21 goals and notched 6 assists across 45 appearances in a disappointing 2024-25 season for Leipzig. So although Leipzig did not perform too well, Sesko was still giving his best on the field, and that's what we like to see. If he can do the same thing for the Gunners, you know, that could have been the difference between us and Liverpool winning the league this season. Anyway, back to the article. He signed a new deal in Germany last year, 2024, with his new contract set to run until June 2029. Arsenal are on the hunt for a new striker this summer after their struggles in front of goal last term. We saw them finish runners-up in the Premier League for a third consecutive season. And there we can see Benjamin Sesko already posing for the cameras in his Arsenal attire. Meanwhile, Football Insider has revealed on the 25th of June that Arsenal are not planning to sell Gabriel Martinelli this summer, despite interest from the German giants Bayern Munich. The 24-year-old is reportedly a target for Vincent Kompany's Bundesliga winners this summer. It is believed the London club are leaning towards keeping Martinelli, despite being aware that his sale could raise big funds. I think we should keep him. Definitely. So that's the news today on Benjamin Sesko. Now to Victor Gyökeres. The Mirror reports the following. Victor Gyökeres makes Man United decision as Arsenal prompt transfer U-turn. Manchester United and Arsenal are both on the hunt for a new number 9 this summer, and Victor Gyökeres is desperate to leave Sporting Lisbon for a big money move. Victor Gyökeres has put Manchester United into pole position for his signature. What? Why would anyone do that? The Swedish hitman has U-turned on making Arsenal his priority, reopening the door on a reunion with Ruben Amorim. I don't know, I'm very skeptical about Ruben Amorim. Doesn't seem like he really knows what he's doing at Manchester United. But who am I to say? And after all, it is not my place to say. It is not my club. Gyökeres, 27, is at the heart of the summer's messiest transfer saga. He is desperate to leave Sporting Lisbon, having scored 54 goals in 52 games last season. A miraculous turnaround by any stretch of the imagination. Gyökeres wants to test himself in one of Europe's biggest leagues, but hasn't found clubs rushing to knock down his door. Sporting insists they've not had any offer put their way, while club president Frederico Varandas has accused the player's agent of falsely claiming the club would accept £59 million to sell the player as part of a gentleman's agreement. Well, we all know that is the case, Mr. Varandas. So it's basically what we would call public knowledge. So it just makes you incredibly stupid, downplaying the rumors. The Gyökeres camp believes Sporting are asking too much money, with claims they are asking for fees totaling £86 million for a player who scored 97 goals in 102 games since moving to Portugal from Coventry City 2 years ago. 97 goals, 102 games, £86 million sounds like a steal. If I was Arsenal, I would have put the money on the table a long time ago. But as you know, Arsenal like to diddle-daddly, twiddling their thumbs, and let other teams come in and basically complete the signature on their behalf after doing all the groundwork. That's how Arsenal do it. Back to the article. As such, there's been a major falling out among the two parties, claims that Gyökeres won't return for pre-season, but Gyökeres isn't getting the interest he perhaps felt he would this summer. He turned down the prospect of a move to Saudi Arabia last month. Al Hilal made a £55 million offer that was rejected by Sporting, but Gyökeres made clear he had no intention of moving to the Middle East, wanting to continue to compete at the highest standards in Europe. Real Madrid have made it clear they don't want to spend big money to take him to the Bernabeu, as they seek a backup number 9 in the mould of former striker Joselu. Liverpool have been linked in recent days, but the Premier League champions have no interest in the Swede. Oh, that's not what we read yesterday. Apparently, according to what we saw yesterday, Liverpool were very interested in Gyökeres. Now, all of a sudden, they've got no interest in the Swede. So who do you believe? What's true and what isn't? We have to go through the bullshit and decide for ourselves. Anyway, back to the article. The Mirror continues to report Juventus have been linked with Gyökeres, but the Italian side aren't flush with cash, and no bid has been forthcoming, while Bayern Munich have Harry Kane and Paris Saint-Germain boss Luis Enrique isn't keen on the player, nor is his former club Barcelona. That has left Arsenal and Manchester United front and centre, and the belief had been that Gyökeres' number one choice was a move to North London. The Gunners can offer Champions League football and a likely title challenge next season. It's definitely not on the cards if he goes to Man United. But while new sporting director Andrea Berta has been testing the waters with the Gyökeres camp and Sporting, Arsenal's preferred number 9 option is RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. A £60 million deal is at this stage most likely for Arsenal and the RB Leipzig forward. As such, Gyökeres is increasingly aware that his best bet this summer may be to reunite with former boss Amorim, and intermediaries have made contact on the player's behalf to signal he is ready to join the Premier League underperformers. Shame, what an insult. However, he may have to play a waiting game with United. Matheus Cunha is already through the door at Old Trafford, and Brian Mbeumo is expected next. But United must offload more before they can spend big again. United are open to selling pretty much any member of their first team squad if the right money is offered, but they're particularly keen to quickly get rid of Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, none of whom are part of Amorim's plans. They're hopeful that Real Betis will present an acceptable offer for Anthony sooner rather than later. Only then United will be back pushing to land the number 9, Gyökeres, that has been earmarked after last season's dire campaign. Let's see how that unfolds. Personally, I would not mind Garnacho coming to Arsenal at 20-year-old with so much Premier League experience and has proved that he can do a decent job at the highest level. All right, let's move on. Let's see what TBR has to say. £26 million man could follow Christian Norgaard to Arsenal. Andrea Berta already did groundwork on the deal in Madrid. Christian Norgaard is close to joining Arsenal according to reports. The Denmark international is set to arrive from Brentford in a deal worth an initial £10 million, providing Mikel Arteta with a central midfielder after Jorginho left for Flamengo. Andrea Berta made swift progress over Norgaard. The entire saga barely lasted a full day, and the Italian is already focusing on another signing for Arsenal, one he did groundwork on while employed by Atletico Madrid before his move to the North London in March. Now, I was quite skeptical about this Christian Norgaard at first, but after having doing some research and watched a couple of clips on YouTube, seems like for £10 million, he's practically the same type of player as Xhaka was, Granit Xhaka. Very good passer of the ball and also has a good couple of goals in his locker. So that will be a very good signing for us, I believe, as a squad player. Anyway, back to the article, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Berta wants Carlos Augusto. FC Inter News now state that Arsenal are keen to sign the Brazilian international from Inter Milan, although Atletico Madrid are also interested. The Italian news outlet claimed that Berta made plenty of notes on Augusto while working as director of football at the Wanda Metropolitano, and Atletico Madrid remain interested despite losing the 50-year-old to Arsenal in March. However, the man born in Brescia has taken his information on the Inter Milan number 30 with him to North London and is now considering a move for the South American. Okay, an agreement will be tough to find though, as FC Inter News write that Inter Milan have no intention of selling Augusto this summer, and it would require a £26 million bid to tempt the Italian giants into reconsidering that stance. The 26-year-old has made 49 appearances last season as Inter Milan reached the UEFA Champions League final, scoring 3 goals while also providing 7 assists. Mikel Arteta would just have another Riccardo Calafiori in Carlos Augusto. While Berta clearly likes Augusto, Arteta might push back on the signing. It doesn't seem like something that we really need, but anyway. The Brazilian is used as a left back and also as a central defender at Inter Milan, boasting a similar skill set to that of Riccardo Calafiori, who Arsenal only signed from Bologna last summer for £42 million. Well, look, Inter Milan against PSG, that's what came to mind. If he's at the center or in the defense, they can't be that great since they got battered by 5 goals. Anyway, let's move forward. Football Fancast reports Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal seal next signing with underrated star set to join. Arsenal are extremely busy behind the scenes as they look to reinforce Mikel Arteta's squad with proven quality. That's what we want to hear. And it is believed yet another player has been given permission to join them by his club. New sporting director Andrea Berta's arrival has motivated plenty of excitement and anticipation among supporters for this summer window, with the Italian known to spin many plates at a time in pursuit of his preferred transfer targets. All right, Berta, all we want is a striker. Please, just get it done, mate. You're leaving us all in suspense here every day. It's not good for our health. It should be illegal. You should just go and sign Victor Gyökeres. That's what I would do. 97 goals in 102 appearances. proven himself in the Champions League. Gyökeres is clearly our man. Sesko might be a future champ, but at the moment, Gyökeres is up there with some of the best, which is what we need now. We need someone that can do that. But anyway, let's have a look and see what else do they say here. Berta's track record at former club Atletico Madrid also makes him stand out as a proven replacement for ex-director Edu Gaspar. And the 53-year-old has already made a solid start to his tenure at the Emirates with a couple of completed deals. Really? After months of talks, Berta has put the finishing touches on Arsenal's move for Real Sociedad enforcer Martin Zubimendi, with the Gunners set to pay £56 million for him, which in my opinion is a bargain. This is slightly above the release clause, but the fee will be paid in installments, with Zubimendi recently finalising his move to N5. As per Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal and Real Sociedad have completed all paperwork for Martin Zubimendi's deal. It's all signed. Zubimendi has completed formal steps of his move in London, and he will be the first summer signing for Arsenal Football Club. Nice. Welcome. Welcome to the Arsenal, my friend. May you win us many trophies. You and Declan Rice in the midfield. Seems like the best midfield in the world. I don't see many better than Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi. That is absolutely phenomenal. Also taking into account the defense we have, we are rock solid. All we need now is that striker and another wide player. Right, back to the article. Football Fancast. Arsenal also triggered Kepa Arrizabalaga's £5 million release clause to make him Berta's second summer arrival after Zubimendi, securing a solid and experienced backup option for David Raya. Brentford captain Christian Norgaard was linked earlier this week as claims started to emerge that Arsenal were considering a shock move for the 31-year-old to replace Thomas Partey, and that deal has seriously intensified and, as we know, is already complete. Christian Norgaard permitted for Arsenal medical after deal agreed. As per trusted transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano, the King, Norgaard has now been authorised to undergo his medical at Arsenal after a deal was agreed for the Scandinavian. So bearing any physical complications, the midfielder will be Arsenal's next completed deal. Now, I'll take my hat off there. That was a great £10 million signing. That's actually quite a decent player we got there after what I've seen in the videos and doing some research for £10 million. Nah, that's a bargain. Well done, Berta. Well done, man. All right. Let's see. The Daily Cannon. Medical set for Arsenal's third summer signing. Christian Norgaard is on the verge of joining Arsenal from Brentford. Breaking news of the day, with the player already set for a medical and a full deal agreed. Well done. Well done. I'm very impressed with that. You can get that deal done in under 24 hours, but it takes you 3 years. 3 years to replace Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I'm not even sure it makes sense in my mind when I say it. But anyway, on Wednesday afternoon, David Ornstein reported for The Athletic that Arsenal were in the process of finalising an agreement with Brentford for the transfer of Christian Norgaard. Ornstein added that a medical was planned, with Arsenal in talks with the player over the length of his contract at the Emirates Stadium. I presume it's going to be a 2-year deal with an extra 1 year if need be. I think that is fantastic replacement there for Thomas Partey. From what I can tell, similar types of player. I just think that Norgaard might have the upper hand when it comes to out-and-out tackling abilities. Norgaard seems like a very, very defensive-minded player, whereas Thomas Partey had more of the box-to-box midfielder attributes. But, you know what? Let's see what will happen. Talks over Norgaard's contract clearly went well, as Fabrizio Romano then reported later in the evening that personal terms had been agreed. Both Mock, Bell and Romano confirmed that Norgaard has been authorized to undergo a medical with Arsenal, which is now seemingly the final step before the deal can be finalized. Norgaard would then become Arsenal's third summer signing. Despite none of them being announced yet, the Gunners have already completed deals for the champion Martin Zubimendi and Kepa Arrizabalaga, but the official confirmation remains pending in both cases. Brentford are already reinvesting their incoming cash, agreeing a deal with Feyenoord to sign midfielder Anthony Malambo for £17 million plus £4.25 million in add-ons, according to Ryan Taylor of the Mirror. Thank you, Ryan Taylor. All right. Norgaard is likely to act as an alternative to fellow incoming midfielder Zubimendi, with the duo replacing Partey and Jorginho as Arsenal's new defensive midfielders. Norgaard made 35 appearances for Brentford last season, scoring 6 goals and assisting 4. He's also a regular with Denmark national team, appearing in 11 of their last 16 matches, including starts in both legs of the Nations League quarter-final against Portugal. So vastly experienced Norgaard is, and like I say, for £10 million, after seeing some videos, the eye test would definitely suggest he is an upgrade on Jorginho. I'm not too sure if he's as good as Partey, but then again, you can basically say that we're replacing Partey with Zubimendi. Zubimendi being an upgrade on Partey, and this new fellow Norgaard definitely an upgrade on Jorginho. Much more athletic, much faster, a much better tackler, and he's also got a couple of goals in him. He's also got some good through balls that I've seen. Anyway, back to the article. The 31-year-old was only second to Ryan Gravenberch in total interceptions in the Premier League last season, which is quite a phenomenal feat. As he ranks among the best ball winners in the division, there's no doubt that Zubimendi is the more progressive of the two midfield additions, but that gives Arsenal options. If and when the Gunners need to see out a lead, bringing on Norgaard would help that cause, and in certain games his focus on ball winning could make him the better option from the start. So for 10 million plus add-ons, it's a steal. Like I said earlier, I also did my own evaluations on Norgaard. I mean, I'm not a pro by any stretch, but I've been watching football for about 30 years. And I can honestly say that Norgaard is very good at his tackling, man marking, interceptions, and he's also got a good through ball. And he can also switch the play quite well. His long balls, 30, 40 yard passes are quite on point as well. So, I mean, as a squad player for £10 million, I'm going to have to give Berta a 10 out of 10 for that. Well done. Anyway, that's the news for today so far. If anything else comes up, I'll definitely be making another video later if anything else comes up. Otherwise, definitely tomorrow, around about midday, I'll be adding another video, hopefully bringing some positive news on the striker side of things for us. So yeah, you guys have a fantastic day further. God bless, and God bless Arsenal. Cheers.